Welcome, cooks, to the Recipe Vault. Today, I pulled out a handwritten recipe from our vault: sausage, green bean, and potato casserole. So when I saw this, I was like, this could be a great, really quick dinner to get on the table. We are gearing up for the holiday season. Everybody's back in school. Everybody's busy. We got football going on. We need to get something in the oven fast to feed our folks, right? This is a great way to do it. So join me. Welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. Okay, sausage, green bean, and potato casserole. We have made something kind of similar to this. I used to make it for breakfast, but this brings a dinner twist to it. So I'm going to use my Kai Pro knife. We bought this one time at the Williams-Sonoma outlet store. I haven't used it that much. It is a very interesting knife. It's beautiful. Look at that baby. It is called a utility knife. So we're just going to cut our onion here. Cut a little bit more of that. And I'm gonna, whoa, okay.
That's kind of a big onion.
Yeah. The knife didn't quite zip through it though.
But it looks pretty.
So I'm gonna kind of chunk it kind of big. Ooh. And I'm gonna put it straight into the casserole. When you're trying to get something in the oven fast, you want to chop straight into the casserole dish, right? Ooh, this onion's not happy with me cutting it. Ooh. Okay, so we got our onion. One challenge for me in this type of dish is I really like to saute things in advance. So if you did this in a brazier where you sauteed the onion, sauteed the sausage a little bit, I don't know, you might develop a little bit more flavor. So I have some fresh green beans here. Woo! I'm just going to cut the ends off and put it in our casserole dish.
Is there a reason why we cut off the ends on these things? Is it for looks, or are they kind of screwed up?
No, I just cut off the ends because sometimes the ends don't look that great. Or because these came in like a bag, so they're probably like machine processed. It also gives me an opportunity to inspect them all before I put them into the dish to make sure they're all on the up and up. Okay, so some red potatoes. So what I did, I have this fear of potato bags because you stick your hand in there and you don't know exactly what's going to come out. Because sometimes, or many times, there's rotten potatoes in there.
You're saying you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you get a prince out of the bag?
You got to kiss a lot of frogs, right? So you can just rinse them and use them completely with the peels on. I sort of striped them with my peeler to inspect them to make sure I don't have any bad spots on them. That's just my craziness. Ooh, and look at that.
Got something in there. Yo, you can't just cut around it?
Me? Cut around it?
Yeah. Cut the middle out.
Chunk it. It says 1-inch chunks.
Well, it also calls for a pound, and you got 2 pounds. Unless they're all
so
rotten.
I can stand to lose a couple here. I fear the potato. I love the potato. Like if you would say, Oh, what's one of your favorite foods? Potatoes up there for me. I love them.
Oh, they are.
Smashed, fried, baked.
I don't think there's one way a potato can be cooked that you don't like.
No. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in here. So I have more. The recipe just called for 1 pound. But I'm putting extra because that's how I am when it comes to the tater. When it comes to the tater. So I'm using this casserole dish. I asked Eric to get me a casserole dish, and he ran down to the studio kitchen, and he grabbed a couple things. This casserole dish I got so many years ago. Remember back when the cellar was a big thing at Macy's? The Macy's cellar, right? Everybody loved to go there. That was like the place to go in kitchenware. That's where this came from. So this little baker is probably, I don't want to age myself, but at least 15 years old. From the cellar. So you can use any kind of 9x13 baking pan. Any large baking. You can even use like a large brazier for this.
So we kind of figured this was an old school recipe with an old school dish, right?
Well, 15 years isn't quite old school, but close enough, right? Okay, so I got a sausage. I got a Chucky sausage. You can use whatever kind of sausage you like. Just get one, right? So we're just going to give this a little cut on the bias. It's just a little bit of an angle, gives you a little bit more surface area. If you cut it this way, you don't have as much surface area. So hopefully it'll maybe give us a little more browning. I don't know. We're going to get a ton.
Well, it gives you something more on your fork.
Yeah. Whoa, this thing is full. I might have to bust out he brought 2 options up. He brought ovens ready. He brought this one, and he brought up a Gordon Ramsay. It's like a lasagna pan made by Royal Dalton. And I was like, maybe that one's too big. But since I added...
Well, they wanted a 9x13, and this one's close to that. The problem is the Gordon Ramsay is just a wee bit bigger, right, Boo Boo?
Yeah, but I added way more potato to this.
You did.
So I don't know.
So that's why I said if we have to upgrade, we'll upgrade.
Look at this.
Is it going to fit or not?
I think we need to upgrade.
Okay. We'll be back in a second. We have a technical difficulty here.
Yeah, we have to make a decision about the casserole. Look at this. Ah,
Well,
I don't know. I'm thinking we might have a little trouble with things. What do you think?
I don't know. If things cook down, it'll fit better, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll just stay with this. We need some seasoning. Okay, so here is our casserole, and it is very full. Eric said leave it, so we're using him as executive decision. If it doesn't cook up right, it's going to be his fault.
We'll just have to do it all over again with a bigger dish, right?
Oh, we'll have to do it all over again?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we got some olive oil in here. We're going to put some salt and pepper in here.
I'm doing it.
Eric's going to do this for me because I have a funky glove.
So we're going to put some salt here, right? Does that look okay to you? Pepper. Or pepper.
We have granulated garlic here. You gotta have that. Season this with whatever you want. You can even put seasoning mix in here. You can put
We're deviating from the recipe right now.
No, they just have salt, pepper, and granulated garlic. I'm
Right.
putting a little granulated onion in here.
And they also call for like a teaspoon.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough. We certainly don't have enough salt in here.
Well, you can always salt the taste later, right?
Erica's not too generous with the seasoning. So,
Well, it gives her a chance to toss it and get it all nice and happy, right?
I over-seasoned, sorry. That's how I
Well,
am.
you got potatoes. They can take a little seasoning, right?
If you don't get these potatoes coated, they're gonna dry out.
So does it look like the oil's been dispersed over most of it?
I think so.
All right.
Let's top it with a little bit of oil. And we need to put some foil on it. So we're gonna foil this. Whoa.
Hi, baby.
I think he gave me quite a bit.
Try to get over that hump of all that potatoes.
He ain't playing around with all that foil. So we're gonna bake this 425 for about a half hour. Then we're gonna take the foil off and we're gonna give it some heat to it. So let it go without the cover on. So maybe we can get some browning. So after a half hour, I'll show you where we're at. Okay, it's time to check our little yum yum here.
It's been 30 minutes. I hear sizzling.
We're gonna be taking this cover off.
A little steam. Be careful.
This is gonna soften up the potatoes. That looks amazing. So we're gonna push this back in here. We're still at 425.
The recipe
Well, I'm
says,
at 410 because I'm on convection.
the recipe says 15 minutes.
The recipe says 15, but we might be stirring and browning here a little bit. So let's keep going and we'll be back. Okay, it looks fantastic. It was in the oven a lot longer than the recipe said. It said to cover for 30 minutes, take it off and let it cook uncovered for 15 minutes. But the potatoes weren't quite done. We stabbed them and they were still a little hard, so we covered it back up. It ended up cooking like an hour and 15 minutes. So it took longer than they said it would.
They didn't brown, but the meat did.
Yeah, it didn't super brown. I didn't leave it in too much longer because I was afraid that,
The green beans are going to get killed.
yeah, this is definitely a quick, easy, comfort dinner. Look at that.
Okay, you got it.
And we'll give Eric a nice serving. Here you go, boo.
Yeah.
How's that look?
Looks scrumptious, baby.
Yeah, thank you, Recipe Fault.
I don't know. Potatoes and sausage, what can go wrong, right, boo-boo?
Yeah. So cooks sausage, green beans, and potato casserole. I can already just look at this and it's amazing. This is a nice, easy to put together comfort dish. You could put other things in this if you wanted to.
Sausage, potatoes are
It's so good.
wonderful.
It's fantastic. I just got a hit of a little bit of pepper. Sausage. This is a winner. What do you think, Boo?
I think it all turned out good. The onions are good. The green beans are good.
It's kind of, to me, a take on that southern green beans with red potatoes, but this is like an oven version.
Some of these sausages almost have a crust. Mm-hmm. They browned and got just a little, so they have a little texture.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
This recipe is definitely a winner. Easy, comforting. When you get home from work, you just throw everything in the casserole, and basically an hour later.
Basically, season it how you want. And there's a little wiggle room on how many potatoes to put in there.
Yeah. Eat it with a little salad. Delicious. I hope you enjoy this. I'm on my way to finish my dinner. Have a great day.